Students, in the previous video we have studied that in the case of yeast there are four different vectors. They are YIP, YRP, YEP and YAC. They are yeast integration plasmid, yeast replicating plasmids, yeast episomal plasmids and yeast artificial chromosomes. So now we are going to get into the detail of YIP, that is yeast integrating vector. It actually comprises of three major components. They are bacterial vector components, yeast gene and selectable phenotype. See, this is a schematic representation of a YIP vector, and it's having bacterial vector components, yeast gene, selectable phenotypes. So see, from here to here, uh, this is a component of a bacterial vector. In this case, this is YAP5 vector, and this bacterial component for the YAP5 vector is coming from PBR322. That's why you can see ampicillin resistant, tetracycline resistant genes over here. And next is the yeast gene, see URA3 gene and selectable phenotype regions. Okay, see. So why this YIP vector that may be known as yeast integrating vectors? Because it can introduce a particular gene into the exact chromosomal location of yeast. That's why these vectors may be known as yeast integrating vectors. See, this is an yeast chromosome, and suppose that this red region that indicates the position of URA3 gene, and also suppose that this chromosome, yeast chromosome, that bears a mutated URA3, we can indicate that as a URA3 minus. That means the yeast chromosome having a mutated URA3, that is URA3 minus allele is present in the yeast chromosome, and we actually wanted to replace that URA3 minus with a functional allele of URA3, that is URA3 plus. That means we wanted to introduce a functional URA3 plus allele into that particular region, that means and into that URA3 minus region of the yeast chromosome. Then you had to construct a vector, YIP vector, then having functional allele of that URA3. That means this vector having URA3 plus region. So in addition to this URA3, you have to construct that vector by taking the adjacent regions of the URA3 as well. That means in the case of URA3 in yeast chromosome, it may have adjacent right and adjacent left regions. So you have to construct that vector too with those adjacent regions. See, this is the URA3 region, and this is the adjacent right region, and this may be the adjacent left region. So if this yeast vector, yeast integration vector, this region from here to here, this is homologous that of the yeast chromosomal region. So here this case, a homologous recombination that can be occurred between these two homologous regions of yeast chromosome and YIP vector. So in that way, this YIP vector that integrated into the exact chromosomal locations of the yeast genome. Hence, it can replace the mutant allele that is present in the yeast chromosome with that of the wild type allele that is present in the YIP vector. So that's why this vector is known as yeast integrating vector. Yes, so they can introduce genes into yeast cell at exactly their normal chromosomal locations. Here in this picture, you can see a vector YIP1 vector. Okay, and this is the yeast chromosome 15, and this chromosome 15 having a mutated allele of his3, that is his3 minus, and here you are going to replace that his3 allele with a functional his3 plus allele. So you have constructed that vector with the history plus allele and the adjacent regions of the history allele. That is, here it is the region up to SAL1 and region up to ECOR1. See, history allele and region up to ECOR1 and region up to SAL1. See, this is the chromosome number 15 of the East that bears a mutated history allele, and this is a vector YAP1 vector. You have constructed to introduce a functional history plus allele into the East chromosome number 15. Now what you are going to do is that you have to introduce that vector into the yeast cell. So by means of transfection process, you have already introduced that YAP1 vector into the yeast cell. So these regions are homologous in nature, that's why. So a recombination process that can be occur anywhere within these regions. So here in this case, a crossing over or recombination process that is happening at a SAL1 region. After that, this is the chromosome number 15, into which this YAIP1 vector may be introduced. So we can look back over here to get to know how this product may be getting. So here, see ECOR1, see this ECOR1, this ECOR1. Then coming to the next is his 3 minus, see his 3 minus. Then half portion of the SAL1. Then there a crossing over or recombination process may occur over there. So the half portion of the SAL1 is coming from the vector. So the half portion is actually from the chromosome number 15, and the remaining portion of the SAL1 is from the vector, because the recombination process may be occurred over here. So this so ECOR1 his 3 minus, then SAL1. See SAL1. See, this is SAL1, and then the PPR 322 region component, or the bacterial vector component. Coming after that, SAL1, the bacterial vector component, that is of the vector components of the PBR 322, that is from here. See, after that SAL1 vector components, PBR 32 components. See up to here. See, this is the arrowhead of this ampicillin resistant, and then towards the tail of the ampicillin resistant region. That is ready frame is actually from here to here. That's all. See, from here to here. And then coming the region is the ECOR1 of vector. See, the ECOR1 of vector, and then history plus allele of the vector. See, and then the half portion of the SAL1. See, this is a vector. See, up to here it is of vector, and then the remaining portion of the SAL1 is of the actual chromosome number 15. See, from here to here, this is of the chromosome number 15, and then the remaining region of the chromosome number 15. So here you can see a product or the chromosome number 15 that having introduced a YAP1 element. So here in this chromosome number 15, this YAP1 that can exist as an episomal vector.
See, there lies a problem here, because this yeast integration plasmid or YIP plasmid that got integrated into the yeast chromosome, and after that the resultant yeast chromosome having a duplicated region, that is those homologous regions that got duplicated in the yeast chromosome. So see this region from ECOR1 to SAL1 and ECOR1 to SAL1, these regions got duplicated. These kinds of product or yeast chromosomes, they are quite unstable, because during the generation a homologous recombination that can be occurred under T regions of these homologous regions, and as a result of that varied product can be occurred in the progeny, or varied genetic constitution that can be occurred in the yeast progeny.
So we can consider the first recombination that is occurring at ECOR1 region. So the product is this one. See, ECOR1, and the recombinations occur in between these two ECOR1 regions. So this ECOR1, and then remaining portion is from this ECOR1 to then his3 plus then SAL1. See, ECOR1, see ECOR1, and the remaining portion of this ECOR1 from the adjacent region. So the ECOR1 region, then his3 plus, see this his3 plus, and then the SAL1 region, then the remaining portion, the chromosome number 15. Okay, so this may be the one of the product. If we expect a recombination at a SAL1 region, then see ECOR1, see this is the product, ECOR1, his3 minus, see his3 minus, a portion of the SAL1 of this region, see, and the remaining portions from the adjacent SAL1, see the SAL1, and then the remaining chromosome 15 region. So here we can expect two kinds of yeast progenies. They are one set is having his3 plus allele, and the another set is having his3 minus allele. So if you are culturing those yeast cells in non-selection medium, then after this recombination at the SAL1 region, you will get around 1% of the cells having this his3 minus alleles. And otherwise, if you are culturing those cells in a selectable medium, then 100% of cells having or progenies having this his3 plus allele in that. See, there are two different genotypes, chromosome number 15 carrying mutated his3 gene and another carrying functional his3 plus gene. Yes, this thing I forgot to tell you. In both of these cases, you can see the PBR322 regions may be lost. See here in this progeny as well as in the case of this progeny as well, you can see a portion midway to this region, that is PBR322 region, or the bacterial vector region may be lost in both cases, in both progenies. See this vector, that is YAP1 vector, is having drawbacks. This is very difficult to identify the reversion of the transformation process. That is this, because this is the resultant of the reversion of the transformation process, and it's having his3 minus allele. See his3 minus allele, but this doesn't bears any selectable markers over here. So this may be exactly similar to that of the parental chromosome. That's why you cannot distinguish these two things. That is the main drawback of it.